presentation for Japan Week tonight. My name is Erin, and we're really excited to have Hiroko here this evening. A couple of quick housekeeping. If your phone is on, just vibrate it for us. Restrooms are behind you there on the left. And just a heads up that tomorrow, same space, we have Ikebana flower arranging from 2 to 4, demonstration and talk, and then at 6 to 6:45, we have a Shoto Japanese calligraphy inspired by J-pop, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then Saturday, the last event for the week, is Japanese story time with Momo at 11 a.m. But today, and if you haven't had a chance, you'll want to look more closely up at the pieces on the display so that you can really see, especially the dimensionality in them. Artist Hiroko Lancour will share a demonstration and talk on her unique Paper Sashiko Series. She is a Japanese-born mixed media artist and an MFA from Wayne State University. Hiroko's work is influenced by her cross-cultural background of East and West, as well as her prior career as a systems analyst, which I think you can kind of see in the precision. Yeah. So please give a warm welcome to Hiroko Lancour.
Thank you. Thank you, Erin, for your kind introduction. My name is Hiroko Lancour, and I welcome everybody, and I'm so glad to see you. Then thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to be here. Okay. Then also I want to express my appreciation to another district library, as well as U of M Center for the Japanese Studies for this great opportunity. Thank you. Okay, let's start. Okay, this is this evening's agenda. Okay, this is a 2-hour program. Then I think it's a little bit too long. So I'm going to plan a short break in the middle. Then first half is mostly slide presentation. Then I'm going to talk briefly about my bio. Then I'm going to show you a video that was made for the DIA, and that was filmed in 2021, I believe. Then this is about 13 minutes video, but it shows what kind of work I do, then my art philosophy. Then it will cover not only Paper Sashiko series, but other type of work I have done. Then that will give you what kind of person I am without me speaking too much about myself. Okay. Then third one, Sashiko versus Paper Sashiko. I'm going to explain what Sashiko is, then what Paper Sashiko is, then how different from each other. Then after that, I have like a photo album kind of display of all of my pieces in my Sashiko series that I have done since 2006. That covers a lot more works other than those. Then we're going to take a short break. Then during the short break, I want you to come closer, then take a look at this two-sided work, then these are the bookmark I created, so it's free for you to take. So this is a library, so it's a good, the bookmark is a good fit. So please, free to take it, okay? Then after the break, I'm going to do the demonstration of Paper Sashiko. It's a quite simple technique, but it's kind of a delicate, then time-consuming. But everybody can do it. Then the material is simple, so I will show you how I do it. Then the number 6, that is artist talk. Probably that's the most difficult for me because I'm going to talk about myself. I'm a shy person by nature, so please bear with me. Then I will make my talk as simple and as short as possible. but I want to kind of explain what made me to do what I'm doing, why I became an artist. You know, I started my career as a programmer analyst in healthcare, insurance industry. So I've been programming, and everything is logical, then nothing to do with visual art. But something happened in my life, then I became an artist. So I want to talk about that. Okay. Then after that, it's a Q&A. So ask me any question you have. Okay, that's this evening program, the plan. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, my brief bio. I created a little in a kind of sequential, in like a resume kind of thing. Okay, I was born in 1954 in Fukuoka, Japan. Then when I was 18, I moved from my hometown to Tokyo to attend International Christian University. Then that was my first cultural shock. You know, smaller town in Kyushu, that is island away from Honshu. You know, Japan is made up of 4 major islands. You know, Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. So I'm from, you know, southwestern island. Then I went to Tokyo. It's a mega kind of big city. So that was a culture shock, my first one. Then when I was 19, I met my future husband in Tokyo. You know, Colin, he's sitting right there. Then a year later, I was still a college student, and we got married. Then my family was furious. Then they thought I was too young to get married, so I was disowned for a few months. But eventually they accepted our marriage. Then 22, that was 1976, our bicentennial year. And my husband and I moved to Detroit, Michigan. That's where he was from. So that was the second culture shock, from Japanese culture to American culture. Then the jacket, that is, I made that jacket some years ago to describe my dilemma. It's that titled dual citizenship. Okay, Japanese government doesn't allow dual citizenship. If I want to become American citizen, I have to forfeit my natural Japanese citizenship. So even today, I haven't made up my mind. I cannot make up my mind. So I carry a green card. So I'm Japanese citizen. So I'm legal citizen, so I don't have to worry about ICE coming to get me. Okay. Then 1976 was an interesting year. As I told you, it was a bicentennial year. So when I first came, I was amazed. So many, you know, U.S. flags, almost everywhere. In Japan, when I was growing up, that was still, you know, recovering from World War II, you know, defeat. So having, you know, displayed Japanese flag back then was a little tricky, because Japanese government doesn't want the resurgence of militaristic, you know, the trend. So showing Japanese flag was a little bit touchy. So I didn't see that many Japanese flags raised in Japan, but in contrast, when I came, it was almost like a festival, you know, everywhere, even the small places. You know, when I came from Metro Airport to, at the time of the Detroit, and I saw so many flags, so I thought this country was so patriotic, as you know, in contrast to Japan back then. Okay, then, okay, after that, okay, when I was age 28, I graduated from Wayne State with a Bachelor of Art in Computer Science. That is because when I came here, even though I had the college degree in Japan, then my major was English, but speaking English here is like a prerequisite. It's nothing big deal, right? So I couldn't, I didn't have any special skill. So I thought I better go back to school to gain some kind of technical skill. So at that time, what's popular was I was checking a newspaper, classified ad, then a lot of advertisement for either accountants or programmer. So I decided to become a programmer. That was easier than pursuing accounting study. I tried both, but I liked computer science better. So I got the 4-year degree from Wayne State. Then I got the job. Then I started my IT career. Then it went well. Then I was very happy what I was doing. Then 1997, and my dog died. Yeah, our dog died, Sasha. She was a Springer Spaniel. Then we didn't have any children, so our dog was like a baby. And she was 13, then everything was going well. She didn't seem to be ill. Then I took her to annual physical. Then doctor said that Sasha has a bone cancer around the jaw. So to do the surgical operation, that required removing the part of her jawbone. So I had to make a hard decision, what to do. Then eventually, within 2 weeks, we made a decision to put her to sleep. But that was very traumatic experience for me. In Japan, the euthanasia of pets was very rare. Then I grew up in a Buddhist household. But then in Buddhism, we don't kill, living creatures unless it's absolutely necessary. So to accept the notion of put a beloved dog like our own family member to sleep was very harsh. So that was my first kind of a turning point to become an artist. I didn't become an artist right away, but I had to do a lot of soul searching, then looking for what the meaning of life. Then also I was age 43, so starting like a mid-year crisis kind of mode. So during that time, I did a lot of things to get over the grief. So I will talk about more when I do the artist talk in the second session. Okay, then I retired from my, day job, then became a full-time artist at the Wayne State University. Then I had the plan to get my MFA degree at age 60. Somehow that was very important for me. So I set my goal. Then now it's 25, I'm 71. I started to create again after 3 years hiatus. Then I'm going to talk about that 3-year mean to me. Okay, so that's my bio. It wasn't brief, but so okay, this is my, okay. Then this is a video that it was commissioned by DIA. Then that was a 2021. It was still in the middle of COVID. Then I think every year DIA hosts the Japanese festival called Hinamatsuri. That's usually around March the 3rd. But that year, we couldn't have any, public gathering. So they asked me to create this video to represent Japanese artists. Okay, let's start. Okay. In art, in expression, I'm looking for something universal among us. It doesn't matter if you're from West or East, something in a common thread among human beings. My name is Hiroko Lancour. I am originally from Japan. I came to the US 1976 with my husband, and I've been living in the United States longer than in Japan. If somebody asks me what inspired me to make art, then I would choose nature, geometry, pattern, and simplicity. I had no intention to become an artist. I had a full-time job as a systems analyst, so I didn't have time to do art. But I had the opportunity to take some courses, so I chose art because always I'm thinking about work, and then I couldn't relax, then a lot of stress. So I tried yoga, the meditation, and nothing worked. And then one day I started coloring in some kind of a pre-printed geometric pattern. And then while I'm doing it, somehow magically almost, I couldn't think anything else because I'm so into it. And that is a very, stress buster. So I started this as a therapeutic kind of as a tool. When I come up with a design, and usually it happens outside of the studio. The most productive time for me lately is walking in the woods. By moving and the body's in motion, then something starts clicking. I call it the fermentation. And then when I get certain level of concrete image, then I come to my studio and then start actual experimentation, physical experimentation. My way of doing is very time consuming. I spend more time thinking about than actual production time. It's always dilemma. Which side am I in? When I live in US and I'm kind of Americanized, then I behave certain way. I'm more assertive because I've been here for a long time. But when I go back to Japan, I don't act like I'm like American. I tend, intentionally act like a Japanese, and I preserve my reserved demeanor. I made happy coat. That is a Japanese style jacket. It looks like a kimono, but it's a half jacket. When I was making it, I just went through the renewal of my green card. Every 10 years I have to renew. So the timing wise, and every 10 years I kind of question myself whether I want to be a US citizen or I stay the Japanese. I purposely chose two different materials. Then the front side I used cotton. Then I painted stars and stripes. Then the inside, reverse side, is a silk, and then symbolize Japan. You cannot wear the front and back at the same time, right? The happy coat itself kind of symbolized my dilemma. I want to be both, but I cannot be both. I think the minimalist work or conceptual work in the required audience to, the forced audience to come up with your interpretation. There is a piece of work by Eva Hess at the DIA. It's a minimalist style, and I think its title is Accession 2. Then outside is a meticulous kind of it's a rubber plastic tube was inserted through the slot. When I look into, people can look into it and see the what's inside. It was totally different. So inside looks like something sticking out. But then it's a kind of a eerie, you feel that a little bit like what is this? You want to kind of look into. Then, but outside is pretty neat, And so it was almost like, what I'm creating in a front side and back side, that contrast. Sometimes the other side, back side is more interesting, even though it looks chaotic and compared to the front side. I really like the idea that she uses industrial material. Her work gave me another possibility that the art is not limited, something that you can buy at the art supply store. For example, I started using a Q-tip, or I try to use a cotton ball, and something that you have at home. Then also, it looks very masculine, but the artist was a female. The more I learned about Eva Hess, I got fascinated. Traditional Sashiko is a cloth and the fabric, and then thread, then needle. Just like a regular sewing, but gradually it created more decorative in aspect. It then becomes not only just a utilitarian method, but it's becoming a part of art. Then I decided to use a simple method. Instead of using a thread and needle in cloth, I decided to use Western watercolor paper. I put together design paper. Then I put that on watercolor paper. Then I, tape it. Then precisely, then I start poking holes. The hardest part is accuracy. And in a larger piece, there may be almost 10,000 holes I have to poke. So if the hole is even 1 millimeter off and it will show, then I'm done. I cannot use that prepared, paper. Then instead of thread, I decided to use calligraphy paper. Then using the calligraphy, then make my own stick, short stick. After I cut into so many different subdivided sheets, then I dip in the water and then roll them up to create one stick. Then I put it on the towel. And then instead of thread to go through, I use owl to poke hole. In the Japanese language, if I translate literally, sashi means you poke. Then physically, I inserted one end of calligraphy rolled paper, then stick in it, then the other side stick through the hole. When it's wet, it seems like it's not sturdy enough. But when it gets dry, completely dry, then those paper and paper, they will kind of fuse together. So I don't need to use glue. When I finish my piece, then when I think it is a good piece, that is something that I want to keep looking at. The attributes that I like to have in my work is duality and simplicity, complexity, and a balance in between. Deep inside, I think human beings have a lot of commonality. You're from Western culture, I'm from Eastern culture, but we have something transcend those differences. In art, in expression, I'm looking for something universal, common thread among human beings. Sashiko and Paper Sashiko are. So let's look at kind of historical background of Sashiko. And I'm going to talk about, my Paper Sashiko. Okay, what is Sashiko? This is the Meiji period. That is 1868 through 1912. Around that time, it was made. Then now it was a collection of Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So as you can see, there's a lot of geometrical patterns. Okay, Sashiko is, pronunciation of Sashiko is, even though I is in there, Sashiko, but it's more like I is silent, close to silent. So the Japanese people say it's Sashiko. So, Sashiko is a traditional Japanese stitching technique. Then literally mean little stab or little piers. Then it's dating back to Edo period, that was prior to Meiji period, that is 1603 through 1868. Those are the period shoguns, they're ruling Japan. Then Japan was closed for other countries. So at the time, Japan enjoyed a peaceful time. Before Edo, there was a lot of wars going on among different warlords, but the Edo period was relatively calm and peaceful. But they had the strict class system, then this Sashiko was created by the lower class people, mostly peasant, farmers and fishermen, than typically by women. Okay. Then studied as a practical method for reinforcing and mending clothing in the cold rural farming communities. That means, cotton fabric was very precious in Japan back then, because northern part of Japan, cotton wasn't grown. It was too cold. Then the silk only belonged to the upper class. And then there was some kind of a law prohibiting like a working class people to wear something luxurious. So the farmers, they rely on the clothes they had, mostly like a linen, and cotton weaving is a little bit more packed. Then linen has a lot of, the air go through, right? So colder climate, and it's too cold. So what they did, was they layered the, whatever fabric available, then they using a running stitch to sew it. So if there are any tear, then they did the mending by attaching, remnant in cloth. So it wasn't for the decorative purpose, but it's a practical purpose. Then it evolved from a practical necessity to a decorative art form at the later years, and mostly used geometrical patterns. Then again, a running stitch. Then traditionally, in a white cloth, in a cotton cloth, and indigo dyed fabric, those indigo blue. Then why indigo dyed? That is relatively cheap compared to other type of dyeing. So for farming class, the indigo dyes are the mainstay. So this is a running stitch. Basically, it goes in, then out, in, and out. Then the sashiko, the evenness and consistency are very important. So if you make a slight mistake, then it becomes noticeable. So you have to pay attention. Then by doing it, it's almost like meditative. So for farming, in communities and the women, they get together during the winter time because you cannot farm in a heavy snowy area. So it was kind of women get together, then doing, mending their clothes or reinforcing or adding more layers to keep themselves warm. Okay, let's look at some example of vintage garment, sashiko garment. This is the firefighter's jacket. Then you see the running stitch, the straight this way. Then it's very decorative. Then what firefighter did is they have this cotton jacket, then probably many layers stitched together to make it very sturdy. Then what they did is they dip in the water before they go into the fire because they didn't have any chemical retardant. So use the water, then it's still wet, then they go in. So this is such jacket. Okay, this is more closer, not the Edo period, probably about 100 years old. Then again, a lot of running stitch, the left one. Then gradually it becomes in a typical sashiko pattern. Then this jacket is used for some kind of joyous occasion. So it's not for the working jacket. It became a lot of more decorative element getting into the sashiko tradition. Okay, then contemporary example, they use sashiko design to create, like a coaster, cushion, and table runner. So very decorative. Then now, some people like using the jeans, then tear it up on purpose, then put the patches, then use sashiko in running stitch. Then that jeans is Levi jeans. Then the other one in a jacket, I checked how much they are selling for. The jacket is about $350. Okay. So now, sashiko pattern characteristic. We saw some of them already. Primarily geometric, but utilizing lines and angles and shapes. Then inspired by nature. Example, the wave pattern. Then mountains is like something like a, that mountain. Hemp leaves, bamboo, flowers, and animals, etc. Then sashiko is based on grid system. That's why I like sashiko. I like, grid paper. Then allowing for scalability, that means you can have a small one, or you can, enlarge twice as big, or you can do a lot of manipulation in your design. Then you can use one sashiko pattern, then combine with other pattern, then create in like a several pattern together. So you can use a lot of creativity in it. Okay, let's look at the famous pattern. The asanoha, that is a hemp leaves. I think this is the most common, most well-known pattern you recognize right away, probably. Then the other one is mukai kikko. That is face tortoise shell. Okay, the tortoise, I don't know the difference between tortoise and what is the other one in toro. But in Japan, toro is considered a very, joyous. It represents longevity. So older people wear turtle design. That means wishing that person a long life. So it's a very happy kind of pattern. Okay, that is a Hishiseigaiha, that is ocean waves. And I use that pattern in my work before. But that is a wave, ocean wave after wave after wave. Then you see the, Hokusai's great wave, it's very stylized. So the sashiko pattern is also stylized. Then kagome, that is woven bamboo. And shippo tsunagi, that is linked 7 treasures of the Buddhas. That is 7 different kind of gemstones, very precious stones. I don't know all of them, but that's what the shippo mean. Then chidori tsunagi, that is linked plovers. The bird you see it on the beach, that is plovers. You will see it in my work next. So that I use that in a plover pattern. Then I created this my beach scene. This is from my childhood memory. Then okay, so that I kind of use that. Okay, then, now I'm talking about Paper Sashiko. Have you ever heard of Paper Sashiko before? Probably not, because I didn't know either. Then I created, in 2006, I started doing this kind of stuff. Then at the time, I was taking a prerequisite art classes at Wayne State. And then I entered like a student show. Then I had to put some title for my work, right? So it looked like a Sashiko Asanoha, hemp leaf pattern. So what am I call it? Then I thought, okay, it's made of paper. So I started calling it Paper Sashiko. So Paper Sashiko number 1, number 2, number 3. So that's what I started doing. Then, yesterday I Googled, then who pioneered Paper Sashiko? Then this is AI. So AI says it's not necessarily true, right? There's a mistake or something. So you cannot trust 100%. But this is what it says. Based on the information available, the artist Hiroko Lancour is credited with devising the Paper Sashiko technique. Okay, thank you. And her process involves using wetted, rolled up strips of calligraphy paper in place of traditional Sashiko thread on a watercolor paper base. So I think it's safe to say that I developed this Paper Sashiko terminology. Then I Googled other people's, they were doing something with paper, but mostly using, the thread, then traditional, like, the thread and needle Sashiko. Nobody using rolled paper. Okay. So what I'm going to say now is my way. So I don't trust everybody's doing it. I don't think anybody doing this. Okay. So you will be the first audience that actually see what I do. Okay. So characteristic of Paper Sashiko. Okay, it's a modern adaptation of Sashiko where the technique is applied to paper instead of fabric. Then geometric pattern features just like a traditional Sashiko. Then I added three-dimensionality to it by making the paper stick arch so that it was room between the base paper and this, the code. So it will create 3D kind of look, and also certain light create a cast shadow. So make that, like when you look at straight, then when you go the sideways, look at angle, then it looks different. Then also the time of the day, if you hang it in your room, then morning lights hit sideways, then you will see the cast shadow the other way. Then midday or no light, then it looks flat, but evening light maybe looks more three-dimensional. So it doesn't look the same. Then I use collage technique. Gluing washi. Washi literally means Japanese paper. Okay, I use different kind of washi, like origami paper using paper, so any paper, and I prefer using Japanese paper because it's very sturdy. And even though it's really thin, but it's very strong. Then this is a very time-consuming, then similar to traditional sashiko. But I think paper sashiko could be the more time-consuming. Then also limited to, smaller area, because it's a base paper that is thick watercolor paper, so it doesn't bend. And if you're dealing with cloth, you can kind of turn it up, this way, that way, then you can do it rather easily. But when you're dealing with that size, bigger size paper, it took me like 3 to 4 months to finish. Then, especially when that goes into the middle section, you have to go like this, then you have to pull this down. So it was very almost labor intensive in a way. So lately, I switched to the smaller size. Okay. Then, in essence, this is the paper sashiko. Paper sashiko is an artistic expression of the sashiko technique using paper as the canvas instead of fabric, and paper sticks instead of thread. Okay. So, the next, I think you've seen most of the, my work in the video, but this is a series of paper sashiko starting 2006 through today in chronological order. The first 4 pieces is both-sided, so you will see the front and back side by side. Okay. This is my first one, paper sashiko number 1. Then go to number 2 and 3. Then the last one was a number 24. Okay. So now, let's take a short break. Then maybe 5-10 minutes. Then please come to the front and help yourself with these bookmarks. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
much. I just saw your tap up close.
Do you have any pieces for sale?
You know, I usually sell it at the exhibition, when I have show, but yeah,
And how do we
private.
find out about your exhibitions?
Oh, I have one show coming up, but that's the group show in the Bloomfield, BBAC,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
starting, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, but I entered the one piece, then it's for sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if you're interested in, just email me or something.
Okay.
Then, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna start demonstration. I don't have any, slide for that because I'm gonna actually do it. Okay. So I'm gonna show you the utensil I use. And first, okay, I start with design. So I have many pads of grid paper. This is just an example. Then I start kind of connecting 2 points, then keep doing it without any preconceived idea. Then I can come up with something pattern that never seen before. But for this demonstration, I'm going to use pretty much traditional. Then I made a change from Asanoha hemp leaves to added extra lines. So, okay. The material, the grid paper, then pencil, then ruler, okay. Then I'm using the same old bowl. This is from a dollar store, but this red really helped me because I cannot see the white paper on white background. So somehow this red color makes me differentiate where the paper is and water is. So I keep using it probably almost like 20 years now. Okay. Then these are the owls to make, poke holes. So I have a different size of owl. Then this is for the smaller hole. Then this is a little bit bigger. Then I have more bigger one. But for this demonstration, probably 2 sides would be okay. Then the bigger one is more like a center of design that so many lines merging into. So many sticks have to go in. That's why I need a bigger hole. Okay. Then the paper, the background paper, for this, I use the Japanese postcard paper, but I prefer the thicker French watercolor paper. And then the brand name is Ashes. Then heavyweight is easy to handle. Then calligraphy paper for the rolling sticks. Then some people call it rice paper, but I don't know why it's called rice paper. It's nothing to do with rice. It comes from a different plant base. So today I brought 2 kinds of calligraphy paper. Then this is a standard. Oh, okay, so sorry. Yeah, sorry. Okay, this is a standard size in Japan. And calligraphy paper is also called hanshi. Then this is the size you buy. Then everything I have a 25 different calligraphy paper. Each time I go back to Japan, I bring back some. then I made a catalog. So depends on the piece I'm working on. I may need two-tone color, the whiter versus and darker, or thicker, or more rough texture. So I don't remember which paper is which. So by keeping track of, for this one, okay, by cutting this size into 16 pieces, it will make, oh, it's not like a little longer than making it 32 pieces shorter and thinner, then you can make it smaller and smaller. So this is my guidebook. Then different color, as you can see. Then this. So this is like my Bible. So let's start now. Okay, first I'm cutting the paper. Okay. So what I do, start out to, then I use just a regular, leather cutting knife. Okay, I'm going to sit down, that's easier. Okay. Then for this size, I think in 1/64 size will be good. But I know by experience. Okay. So this, the size of, okay. So I do this. Okay, this is. Then I keep track of which one is the smoother side and the rougher side. Okay. Okay, so this is 1/16 size. Okay, then this is 1/32. Then what I need is 1/64. So this is the size I want for today's demonstration. So I partially finished already. So what I need to do is here, here, then also arch here, here, here. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pieces of paper for this. So what I do is to make myself easier to remember which side is front and back. So I kind of sort them together and I kind of fold it like this. So I know that this side is a front side and this is a back side. So anyway, okay, so that is. Okay, so I forgot to show you the initial part. Okay, sorry. The poking holes. Okay, this is a design. So it's very simple. But it's very important if you made a hole and slightly off, then it doesn't look, precision isn't not there if you screw up this process. So you have to be really, really focused. So keep doing it. Then if I work on the larger size, then I tend to miss few holes. It's hard to detect that, but I will show you the simple kind of primitive method to find the mistake. Let's say I forget to make a hole here. Then an easy way to double check is and as you can see, if I have to deal with a bigger sheet of paper, it is very difficult to do, overall without making mistakes. Okay. Here, I forgot two places, but it may not be that noticeable. But when I do this, then look against some kind of a light source, then I can see that, I missed here and here. Okay, so that is here. Oh, here. Oh. Then 1, 2, oh, here. Okay. So this is the pretty much first step. Then second step, okay, I use washi. Then I did this. But the kind of paper I use, okay, first, this one, that is kind of a chartreuse color, like a lime yellow, that came from this is a bigger sheet. Actual size is bigger than that blue piece, the big. Then what I do is I use certain color or certain design I like, then cut. So I've already used for some other work. So what I did, this green, I took it from this area. So you can see I took it from here, Then this blue, this is a origami size paper. So I got this from this washi. Then these are the silver and gold leaf embedded. I don't know if it's a real gold and real silver, but it's pretty inexpensive. Then this sample, I use this. It's called a momi gummy. It's not really smooth, but it's very textured. So I use this to cut, these two. Anyway, so let's try this one. Okay, now I need a water. Okay. So no chemical. It's just very, organic and very safe. So now, okay, I dipped it. Well, then the reason why I like this cheap little this is, I can use the ridge to hold it, like it stays. Then this little fold mark tells me which side I have to roll into. Okay. And this looks easy. Then it is easy, but you have to make sure that your fingertips is wet enough. Then start from here. Then you patiently, delicately roll it by your index fingers and the thumb. Then do this. Then make the both end, as sharp, kind of a tapered, so that easy to go, put this end into the hole. Okay, so this is one stick done. So I usually make several at the time. But if you do too many, then it's get dry. So you have to dip it again to make it wet enough. So while I'm doing this, I usually listening to the music. Then recently I subscribed to Amazon Music Unlimited, so I don't have to get up and change CD anymore. Just let it go 2-3 hours straight. Then selecting music, it depends on my mood. In the morning, I like to listen to Gregorian chant or something, because usually I'm not I cannot get started easily in the morning, so I want to go slowly. Yeah. Okay, so I need a 5. Okay. Then if I'm in a hurry or my mood isn't there for this, then usually the paper get torn because I do it too harsh or, just my finger is not, see, I broke it already here. Oh. So, okay. So, you can see the length is slightly different, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to be the same length. Okay, here, so I'm gonna do from here to here. So I make a hole a little bit bigger. Then I put it into it here. Then, see this hole, already 2 sticks went in, so it's very tight. And another delicate part is finding the end of this new stick going in. So sometimes I have to look at it, then see so now I found it, so I pull gently in, then make it flat. Okay, then I'm gonna do this. Okay, this end I didn't do it as sharp, so I'm gonna adjust it. Then I push this in. using this. Yeah. So I use. Okay. Then my first try before I came up with this method, I used pine needle, pine tree, and then on the ground you see a lot of, the long needle. And then I thought that I could use that, but if I bend too much, it breaks. So I found this paper is very malleable. Then also it dried and gets really strong. Then the price of this sheet is very inexpensive. So you can, make mistake and it doesn't cost much. Okay, now I forgot this one. Okay, this is in the center, so I need to do a little bigger hole, so I use a bigger one. Okay. Then okay, so I think the hardest part is, like there's so many lines are merging into one's point. Then the back side, it looks like this. So I don't know where my, things, I just stick it in there. Usually I can tell by the color, the wet paper will be darker, but it's too many. It's congested area here. So I have to push more. Whoa. So technique is simple, almost primitive, but time consuming. But since I have to pay attention, so I don't worry about other stuff. Then if I don't do anything, then I constantly thinking about something and worry about something that I don't need to worry about. But while I'm doing it, if I'm worrying about something I screw up, then so this prevent kind of maintain the calmness. So that's why I call it a meditative process as well. Okay. Then here I'm going to make it, arched shape instead of laying it flat. So I use this to create a little arch. Then instead of pulling it all the way down, okay, I made it. Then make sure that the height of arch is about the same. Okay. This. Okay. Then the last stick goes here. Then the reason that I don't need to glue these sticks is once, okay, as you can see, each point has two sticks merging. Then two of them together into single hole, then kind of interlocked. so it doesn't come out. So that's why I don't have to use glue. But putting washi here, I use a regular glue. Okay, so I'm done for this simple design. See, I don't know if you can see the cast shadow. They give you kind of an interesting, around here, you know. So this one is the exact the same in geometric pattern, but I made the arch in the center. Then instead of leaving this blank, I put the colored paper washi over here. So this one I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I'm done. Do you want me to continue or you got enough idea? Do you want me to continue, then you compare? Okay, so I'm gonna, time-wise, I think. Yeah, thank you for being patient. Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm gonna just do the one notch, then that's maybe good enough. Okay, since this one has only one stick in one hole, so it's not steady enough. It keeps popping up. So I think I better put another one. Okay, so now it's 2 sticks, so it's pretty locked in. Okay, so then look at these two, and same number of holes, same location, but kind of different. So the design is almost unlimited. You can come up with anything you want. So you don't have to rely on the traditional Sashiko pattern. Then you can use this arched method to create in cast shadow, then making it 3D. So this is my basic paper Sashiko technique, very rudimental. Then the technique you need is just a patience. If you have fingers, then time and patience, then material. And it doesn't require any training. You can start doing it today, So it's not like some special skill that you have to acquire before you can do. It's very simple. Okay, so now, thank you. Thank you. So now that I gotta do the hardest part, I have to do tell you my stories. I didn't have a final version until, on the way from, we live in Clinton Township. Oh, I got it. Yeah, sorry. Then a drive from there to there, I was kind of revising my basic outline of my talk. Okay, I hope I will do it right. Okay, so basically, I want to tell you my journey, my journey to become an artist. What made me, choose a path to be an artist. Okay, that's the main topic I'm going to cover. Okay, and when I did the brief bio, I mentioned that my dog's, passing was one of the turning point. And then I usually don't talk about the dog or pet because, we live in a culture that, animal is here, then human is here, so grieving over pet seems a little bit insignificant compared to the human loved one death. But to me, it was as equally painful. So, to get over the grief, then I tried a lot of things to calm my mind, like spiritual meditation. And then somehow I couldn't do it, not to think anything else but your breathing. It didn't work. Then yoga didn't work. Then, so what happened was between my, the Sasha's death, then the time I decided to pursue art seriously, there were 3 years. Then I call it, this is my first, the wandering in the wilderness, so it's my spiritual wilderness period. Then during that time, what I did, first thing I did was, I have to get used to death. I know that it's a morbid subject, so some of you may not be comfortable to listen to, but I had to deal with it. So somehow I wanted to get close to then people who are grieving. So back then, there was a big, thick yellow pages still available. So I was going through, then I found the Carmanos Hospice program available, not too far from where we lived. So I called Carmanos, then talked to the coordinator, that I want to volunteer. Then she was willing to meet me. So I went through the program, training program. Then I started volunteering. Then there was a summer camp, overnight camp for the families who lost a loved one through cancer the previous year through that summer. So I participated as a volunteer. Then there was, the session, different session was going on during that camp. Then I attended the mandala, color, some kind of a mandala color program, just a coloring. I brought some sample. now I'm going to switch to this. This is the beginning of in my Paper Sashiko. But I didn't realize that back then. It was 1998, summer of 1998. This is what that like an art therapy kind of session I attended. So I was given, among many other students, this kind of a black and white design, then bunch of colored pens. So you can choose anything you want, then coloring. So I started doing this. Then I thought, oh, this is interesting. Then another one, this. Oh, this is colorful. So I was kind of, surprising that how, time passes so quickly. Then I wasn't thinking anything else, just selecting color. The decision making is what color I need. And then patiently filling the area. Okay? So I kept doing, even after the camp ended. Then I did it, so I dated. So this was September 6, 98. Then several days later, then here. Okay, this is my origin of getting into Paper Sashiko, but I didn't know back then. Okay. So you never know, any kind of an accidental encounter with somebody or something that may have a significant, profound impact on you several years later. Then you don't know that at that moment. Okay. Then those 3 years, I was wondering what I want to do, what the meaning of life. So it was like a circling, in the wilderness. Okay. Then that passed, then year 2000. That was a Y2K time, and a lot of people in my age had to deal with Y2K. So many programs have to be updated to accommodate, that. And so it was very busy as a, systems analyst. Then I felt like burned out, like a midlife crisis kind of mode. So I decided to take a sabbatical leave. Then company didn't have, because I wasn't in an educational environment, so there wasn't a sabbatical leave allowed. So I left the company. It was a big risk, but I felt compelled to do that. Then I started working at, like a very simple job at the local art gallery. Then annotating number. If it's a print, number 3 of 100. Well, that's all I did, like 8 hours in a couple of months. Then I thought, that is not the way I want to live. So I went back to my old company. It was, kind enough to accept me. So I started working again. But at that time, I made up my mind. I have a 10-year plan. Okay, it may take 10 years, but I want to get the formal art education. And, I didn't want just a bachelor degree, but I wanted to get a Master of Fine Arts. The reason is, one day I went to another gallery. Then I asked, I'm interested in becoming an artist. Then eventually I'd like to have a show. Then what the path, what kind of path do you suggest? Then that gallery owner said, I don't talk to anybody unless the person has an MFA. And so then, I was kind of shocked. If you have a talent, you should be able to, get, taken seriously. But this guy said, nope, we don't want to talk anybody unless you have MFA. So I decided, that's what I want to do. Then eventually I get into, Wayne State. Before that, I went to community college. Then I got enough prerequisite. Then I got the associate degree in fine arts. And then I tried Wayne State. And the first time, I get rejected because I didn't know any professors. Sort of, a graduate officer said, you have to get to know professors. Then try again. Then you will get in. So that's what I did. And then my advisor, some years later, then I shared with him about the story about you have to have an MFA to get taken seriously. Then my advisor said, that's the BS. You don't need a MFA. And then you have a, so unless you're really serious, you're wasting time, maybe. So, but I persevere. Then I, graduated, and my goal was I wanted to get MFA by age 60. Then I was able to do that. Then happened to be the opening night of the graduate show was my 60th birthday. Yeah, so it was, yeah. So now, then in the past forward, then I encountered the second, my spiritual wilderness period. That was, after I kind of established myself as an artist, I rented a private studio in Ferndale, Michigan. Then I kept it for 7 years there. Then I was showing at the different local galleries or group show, or I had a couple two-person shows. Then I realized, what do I want to do? Then, I wanted to have a studio in my home. So we moved from Royal Oak to Clinton Township. Then we had a bigger place, so I have my own studio now at home. So that means I can get up middle of the night. Then in pajama, I can go to my studio. I don't have to change clothes and drive to the studio. So that's great. But somehow for 3 years, I didn't have any urgency to do, even though I have all the environment I had. Something wasn't there. It was COVID was ending, so there's many galleries started opening and having a show. But at the time, theme of the show is pretty much political, and then I don't like to be pigeonholed as an Asian artist or Japanese artist or female artist. I wanted to do something, beyond that small bucket. I don't like to be defined by other people. You are that, or you should be feel that way. So that is a part of the reason I didn't feel like doing any art. But anyway, during that time, I had the strong urge, kind of more like a spiritual urge. Then I have to have some kind of a core belief in me. Then one day I was Googling, the church near me. Then I found several of them. Then I happened to find the one not far. It's in Mount Clemens. Then it has a lot of YouTube video of a pastor preaching. Then because this pastor had to make those videos during the COVID time, the church was closed. then I liked what he was saying. So one day I decided to go. Then that happened to be the church. I'm still going there for 2 years. Then I have a church, brother sitting front row here. But then still, okay, I got some kind of nourishment coming in, but I still not feel like making anything. Then one day, earlier this year, and then a preacher was saying that simple faith. Then I interpreted simple faith mean I don't have to have a big reason to produce art. I don't have to have a theme to meet the society at the time. Something, if it comes from naturally, then that may be good enough. Then before, my kind of a paradigm is I'm here, then I have a product, an artwork, then I'm in total control of my product. So I'm a maker, then this is the result. Then if I put something bigger than myself out here, then I'm here, then my artwork. Then before, all the pressure or responsibility was on my shoulder. But now I feel, okay, I'm a medium, some kind of, so I want something bigger. If I call it God, some people get allergic reaction, so I don't call it God, but something bigger than us. Then I want that to be use me as a tool, then use my hand. Then something get created through my hand. Then I felt all the responsibility or burden is off my shoulder. Then once I kind of took that idea, then suddenly I feel, no pressure to make. Then I start making it. Then those are the one that I created, this year. Then coming out without much preconceived idea. Then each time something different came out, then I'm okay with that. Then some people may say, oh, this looks childish, or color usage may be not good, or, I hear those criticisms and I accept those criticisms, but that's okay. Before, I was very sensitive for criticism. Then my advisor, I remember he is saying that, Hiroko, your usage of color isn't that good. Then, I was kind of shocked, and I stopped using colors. Then that's this, I'm going to use inherent color to do that. Then I don't want to use a color that I chose, So those period went on. Then I had a coffee with my advisor. Said, you remember you said I'm not good at selecting color. And then he said, no, did I say that? So he said he doesn't remember. So a lot of criticism, then stuck in my mind. It's just not that important after all. So I decided I want to create something that pleases my heart, not pleasing to the potential audience or potential buyers. Then whatever happen will happen, then I will be okay. Like acceptance, then also the gratitude for me to be able to produce something. Then I'm getting arthritis in the hands, so I don't know how many more years I can do the delicate hand maneuver. But when that happens, maybe something bigger than me may be able to find a way, some other way to use me. So I'm pretty content, and I hope that my piece will be reflected on the piece in pieces, on my new pieces. Okay, that's my story. I'm sorry. thank you for listening. Yeah. Then thank you for coming. Then any question, please ask me any question.
Bring the mic to you.
Hi, I just wanted to ask if, like, with all the intricacies of, like, the way you put the, like, you place them, have you ever tried, like, weaving them, with one another? Like, with the humps of,
Hump.
like, putting a hump underneath the other one so that
Under-
you can see, like, only the dimensions?
Okay, the paper, when it's wet, it keeps the foam. Then when it dry up, it's really hardened. So it's easy to make like any form you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was just wondering, the paper that you use to make the tubes or whatever, is that textured so you can?
Yeah,
twirl
I'm
it?
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I wear a hearing aid.
I was
like,
just wondering that the paper that you use to twist it, or tubes or whatever you call them, yeah, is it textured so it's easier for you to grip it? Is that why you do it one side down and one side towards you?
Oh, yeah, it's a textured.
So it's easier to twist?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
So
your fingers easier.
if it's a really smooth paper, it's hard to make
So
an
it doesn't get it.
initial kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thanks. That is your question too?
I want to know about your use of color. How do you choose your palettes, how you combine the colors in your patterns?
Okay, I have boxes of different origami washi papers, right? So first I do the design using a grid paper. Then I go through the bunch of origami paper or whatever paper. Then whatever that appealing, then I pick one color, then pick next one that kind of give me enough contrast, or whatever the design looks like. Oh, this is a joyous design, so I will make it kind of a buoyant feeling, like a warmer color. Okay, this design look serious, so I'm going to use something that more subdued. It's no scientific reason, just depends on my mood that day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And then there's more, things. So come and get if you like.